I am also in love with video games, especially and also with killing myself.
Oh no. We're gonna do it, aren't we? It's Crash Bandicoot 2. Oh my goodness. It is time, man. This is my favorite Crash game in the entire series. It is just so much fun. It's just the right amount of challenge, the right amount of frustration, the right amount of obscene difficulty. I love it. It's the perfect length for a game. You know, it's not bad. It's my favorite in the series, and I know it's many other people's favorites. Lots of people like Warped, but I don't know, man. I'm always gonna say I'm a Crash 2 man myself. So, just like the last video, we are gonna get random frame rate spikes, so if I fuck up, it's not entirely my fault. But I figure I might as well, hey, editing self, while you're sitting there doing something in RuneScape probably not important, remember to show your copy of Crash 2. Oh, look at that. That's actually not an original Crash 2 jewel case, it's actually a Crash 1 jewel case, but with the Crash 2 manual? I don't know, I ordered it like 20 years ago. I lost my original jewel case ages ago. I actually have 2 copies of Crash 2 because one of them doesn't actually work. I played that game so damn much, I scratched the disc. It's unbelievable, so yeah. We're gonna be running this in the Insane Trilogy. Of course, we're gonna have some weird frame rate hiccups. You know, I'm not gonna make excuses for stuff in this game. It's absolutely the hardest in the entire series. I'm very, very familiar with it. I can tell you minute differences between this version and the original as well. Skipping cutscenes, we're gonna get 100%, just like I did with Crash 1. I'm also gonna be doing a separate Relics video. I think they're actually easier because Crash 2 in the Insane Trilogy, when you finish it, actually gives you the Crash Run ability, which was added in 3. So, a lot easier. So let's go ahead and get started. Let's go ahead and overwrite my old save. I don't really care. I just did some practice the other day because you have to practice Crash 2 to play it. So yeah, Crash 2 takes place immediately after Crash 1. Get this fucking nonsense off my screen. So before I get started, because I do not want to like explain this very well, because I probably can't. I went 2 days without my medication and it was a headache, so I'm kind of a bit iffy. So Crash 2 introduces the slide. This is absolutely what makes this game so tight. The control is so perfect. So I'm going to be doing some methods you probably didn't know you could do, but maybe you do. You're going to see me do the spin, obviously, but I'm also going to be doing the slide spin move. Now, one thing I will say before we get right into the game, in original Crash 2, you could do this. You see what I'm doing right now? This would actually keep your momentum, so you could go like this really quickly, and it would actually skip frames, and you'd be extremely quick. This is still really quick, but you'd have to like do this weird input like this, and you could do it, and it would actually give you insane amounts of speed. You also have the slide jump in this game as well. This is primarily what I do the entire game, but if you didn't know this, and prepare to have your mind blown if you didn't know this, if you hit at the right jump height, the spin, you actually spin up slightly. This can be used to traverse a lot of shit, so like, let's show you the example. So here's the edge of the pit, right? We'll just slide jump across, we'll end up like right here, about there. That's the difference in jump arc, so you're gonna see me doing this quite a bit. You have to do that timing very specifically. It's very... You can't do it like right here, right? You have to do it at the very arc of your jump, otherwise you won't actually make it. But other than that, this is a very solid direct upgrade to Crash 1's engine. I think the level design is better. It's more fun. There's more variety to go through. Some people don't like the archetypes, but I'm a Yu-Gi-Oh player, okay? I'm all about the A word, so... Well. So the first thing we're going to be doing is going into Turtle Woods. Now, in the original Crash 2, this hint did not exist. I never knew how to do this until I was like 18 years old, so at least 18 or 19. So the first thing we're going to do is ignore all the boxes. So you can tell Crash 2 starts off by saying, okay, we're going to throw some new stuff at you that's going to make you have to change up your gameplay from the first game. So new to Crash 2, obviously, other than the really awesome movement, is also going to be the inclusion of death routes, bonus areas rather than bonus symbols requiring the area to unlock. The bonuses also create checkpoints in this version. They do that in Insane Trilogy, but in the original Crash 2, they functioned as like an extra checkpoint, which I will show off later. I have played this game for so many goddamn years, you have no idea. So, ooh, that is a not very fun jump. So check this shit out. So if you want to wait and be lame, you can do that. Otherwise, you can just do that little jump maneuver I was showing you. You can do this in the original, but in the original you could also go in the foreground right there and actually get out of the pit very easily. So, alright, so this game's gimmick is you gotta collect crystals. They're very, very easy to find. There's no nonsense involved in trying to get them. And that's how you get the blue gem, by the way. The blue gem functions exactly like the other colored gems in the other games. You need those to unlock certain pathways in the levels. I think there's also just 6 in this game as well. And so we can't get the red gem, you can see in the background there. Another major difference is in the intro, you can see here we can have relics. These are also added in Insane Trilogy, which is just fantastic. But those were actually, those little symbols were among the top up here where I'm jumping in the levels originally, so it's a minor difference, I'm not going to complain about it, but you know. So we got the blue gem, now we can finish the level properly. I'm assuming, and that's a big bold assumption on my part, right? I love the armadillo sounds. They're very not armadillo-y, but I love them. In Crash, you can get the boxes broken all in a level. You can get a clear gem, sometimes called a box gem, if you want to call it that. If you've watched my playthrough of Crash 1, I'm also running Insane Trilogy for all these games, but you should understand how the mechanics of the game work. Break boxes, you get gems, and then you beat the levels. It's really quite a simple concept. This area was the bane of my existence when I was a youngster, by the way, because holy shit, dude. I could never time this jump perfectly in like the next spot coming up, so. New to Crash 2 is also the Nitro Crate. They are basically an instant detonation crate. They're like TNT, but contact-based, so you don't want to fuck with those. But also, new to Crash 2, and by the way, you can only do this one time, so if you fuck it up, you gotta die and reset. New to this game was this little box over here, the Nitro Detonator switch. It functions as basically just breaking all the Nitro crates in a level. Now, if you're brand new to Crash, you don't know this, understandable. So there's some areas like Sewer or later that have a box right next to Nitro crates, right? Oh, I forgot to mention, the game also introduced the belly flop, but I rarely use it. It's a little bit too slow. It's slightly sped up in this version of the game, but it's not that much useful. And metal crates, I forgot that's another thing that got added, or I don't know what you want to call them. Trapped crates! But, basically, I already completely forgot what I was saying. Oh, so like if there's a box right next to a Nitro box, and you hit the Nitro switch, that box is not actually counted on your tally, because I think it's probably a programming reason, like the game just couldn't keep track of it, and they probably never gave a shit to, like, actually fix it. It's not that big of a deal, personally. And yes, you can get that without having to not kill the enemy, trust me, I know all the shit about Crash 2, man. If you wanna... I actually remember Square-Eyed Jack, if you ever... Go look up Square-Eyed Jack, he's fucking fantastic. I actually dropped by in one of his live streams ages ago and actually gave him some advice on playing Crash 2 because he was a little rusty. And I had nothing better to do. So, Crash 2 is my favorite in the entire series, so I have a lot of shit I can tell you about it without thinking. But, yeah, Nitros have to be broken with a detonator. Any boxes next to it will not count. So, I'll show you in the next level, but that doesn't matter. So this is just,
So, you are helping me.
yeah, that's nice. I am helping. The story of this game is pretty shit. You don't need to know. It's not that important. So, Snowgo we can get the box gem on, but we cannot get the red gem until later. So, that's something that you gotta remember. This game introduced, I pointed it out in my Crash 1 playthrough as well. Oh, and the ice physics. I fucking hate the ice physics in this game. I am so used to original Crash 2 ice physics, it's unbelievable. So in original Crash 2, I'm gonna just drop that Nitro discussion real quick. In original Crash 2, you would always carry your momentum on ice, even if you came to a complete stop. It was very fucking weird. I am so goddamn used to that, you have no idea. It's like Stockholm Syndrome to me, so I have absolutely the worst time adjusting to this fucking difference. Also, in the original, you could do a belly flop in a very specific angle, and you could actually get up that chasm. That's where the red gem is in the level. It's not unlocked here. Oh god, here we go. So, one thing I can also tell you right here, this is a good example, is you have a lot of weird momentum when you hit the ice in this game. So if I die on any of the ice levels, you'll know. Trust me. So, I guess I can explain it as well. So if there was a box right here, when I hit the nitro switch, and let's say it was 74, it would say 73. You need to break boxes that are near nitro crates. They do not count with the switch. Unless for some reason there's an exception, I'm not really sure there is one. But make sure you always break boxes. Also, Crash 2 is way, way more fucking secret heavy than Crash 1. And you can probably tell I'm just tearing ass through these first couple of levels. That's because I don't know, I'm probably very out of it right now because I had, like, most of the entire day was me suffering from withdrawals from my medication, so I'm probably a little bit out of it, but I think that's the perfect time to record this because I'm actually feeling the Crash 2 time. So, one thing you also want to remember about Crash 2 is you are never going to 100% every single level, like, at all. You always will have one level you have to backtrack through. You always have one level you need to go through another level set to get the next special gems in. And you almost, I think starting with the next tier, you also have a level that you need to go through without dying, because unlike Crash 1, they decided, hey, that's a really fucking dumb system, so let's make it normal as God intended, and take out the whole ridiculous mechanic of if you die in the level, you can't get the gem. That's just terrible. So to compensate and keep some difficulty with Crash 2, which is already a fucking hard game, they decided to make it so that if you wanted to do that, you had to have certain areas that had things called death routes. If you get all the way to it without getting killed in the entire level, and I mean the moment you go into the death route is like all that matters. As long as you get up to the death route and you don't die. I'm really making this hard to explain, but like, so if you die on the way to it, it doesn't count. You have to reset the level. That was too close, I wasn't going to try and do that. This level has some backtracking in it we gotta do. It's after the crystal up here, so. Crash 2 also is like the most unbelievably fucking difficult one in the entire series. So, this game requires a lot, and I mean a lot, of backtracking. It's a lot better than the first original PS1 version because the camera was not nearly as, like, friendly as it is right here. I'm not really going quickly because, Jesus, it is very easy to fuck up. But, I usually go through the left. Some people go through the right, then they go left. No, you're crazy, man. Go through the left, then go through the right. The worst example of this mechanic is probably in Behaving. No, it's one of the B levels, and it's just, I will show you guys a way to deal with that so you don't have a fucking migraine, because everyone does that, and I don't mean to sound like gatekeep girl boss here, but every time I see people complain about that section, I'm always like, why don't you just go through the death route and then go back? and not hit your checkpoint box, because it's a lot safer and it's a lot easier. But you know, to each their own. You play Crash how you want to play Crash, but you're probably playing it wrong and I'm gonna laugh at you anyways. How dare you not know these very specific button inputs that probably aren't very well explained in the game? How fucking dare you? Oh shit, that's terrible. I don't want to do that. I want to keep my mask for the next level. But yeah, basically, this is another new introduction, is these steel crates. You got a belly flop on those. It's not that big of a deal personally, but, you know, I'm not a huge fan of it. It just sort of slows shit down. What the hell? Okay, that's fine. This game is probably considered by many to be the hardest in the series. I'd say it's harder than Crash 1. There is a lot of obtuse shit in this game, and I wish I was kidding. But it's... Unless you have a walkthrough or someone like me to tell you about it, there is no way you're gonna figure this game out on your own. You have to absolutely either know somebody that knows the cool Crash 2 jive, or you need somebody that has a walkthrough open to play it. This game is very unfriendly, and trust me, I never 100%ed this game as a kid because a lot of it is just so fucking obtuse. I figured shit out like jumping in the foreground in some levels, and I mean, compared to Crash 2 Original, there's some exploits that don't work anymore. Like, so the death route in Behaving, or whatever it's called, I want to say it's Behaving, I can't ever remember the name of the level. Basically, there's a part with the death route where you can actually jump around the side of it to the left in the original, and you can actually skip having to worry about the death route, period. But we'll get into it when we get there. So, anyways, Crash 2 is just so fucking good. I'm gonna be doing this, like, level tier by level tier, and then boss fight, and then that's gonna be the video for the episode. 3 crystal meths. Not bad. So Hangei is our first, I guess you want to call these the Upstream 2.0 levels. I like the music here a lot, but I still love the original Crash 2 version. Is so fucking cool. So we can't actually get the second gem in this level set. We need to get the, am I correct in saying this? This is the one that we need to, yeah. So we need to go through the level very quickly. This is not like super tight, but it's still pretty nerve-wracking if you're not careful. So I can say from experience, by the way, the little, I don't know what you call that, motorized surfboard, I don't know. The controls are actually very spot on, trust me. It's way more responsive than the original, and I think it's just way tighter. Like in the original, that mine that I ignored earlier, I could not have done that in the original. It would just not happen. Like, I couldn't get this close to mines. It would just end horribly. So, believe me, man, I know my Crash 2. That's all there is to it. So that's our first of 2 speedrun gems. There's actually another one in Tier 3. Yeah, Tier 3, it's the yellow gem. Like I said earlier, color gems are used to unlock other areas, whereas clear gems are just rewards. One thing you can do, and I didn't do it there, I'm just stretching a bit, one thing you can do in this game that you can't do in other Crash games is, wow, thanks brain, I just had a mild stroke. You can, so in Crash 3 they wizened up a bit, obviously, because they realized this mechanic was a little bit broken. But in Crash 2, if you get to, let's say, a death route that has no boxes in it, and it has just the clear gem, right? If you die in that area, and then you just reset, you will see that is so much easier than in the original. It's unbelievable. So, like, you will keep the gem. As long as you don't exit the level, you'll keep whatever you had in the level at that current point in time. So, like, the green gem is a good example. In Sewer or later, when we get the green gem, you can just get killed and you'll actually still be okay to exit the... Oh my god. I was like gonna slide jump off that almost. It's like, no, Seth, don't do that. That's a terrible fucking idea. That's why I joked about it in the original Crash 1 playthrough. I was like, no, you just gotta kill yourself. Nah. There was this... I like this story because it's uncomfortable, but there was this guy, I think SGDQ or AGDQ, he kept fucking saying that over and over. He's gotta kill myself. Nah. He like got like a game over on like an AGDQ speedrun, and it was very embarrassing. He was not a good runner, I hate to say it. I actually speedrun Crash 2 on PS1 way fucking better than he did. And I'm gonna say that without any hesitation. I'm a better speedrunner than the guy that was at AGDQ. First of all, I'm a lot more handsome, right? And I actually have people skills. Oh shit, I'm getting real hot takey, aren't I? But anyways, we need to go do this path right here. This is so fucking tight, I hate this. I am not comfortable with those jumps in Insane Trilogy. They're a lot tighter. Anyways, me talking shit about a world record holding speedrunner aside, I genuinely love Crash 2. It's the game that I always just come back to. You know what I mean? It's like people have that comfort zone game they always come back to. Some people, they like to go back to their Final Fantasies and their JPEG women and their, you know, anime spaghetti hair. What the fuck is with this jump? They like to go back to those. Some people like to go back to their Super Mario 64, which is an objectively piece of shit game. I go back to Crash 2 to remind myself, holy shit, some games were just fucking awesome. I don't think you can ever get over there, by the way. I don't think there's any reason to go over there. But, hey, I don't know, man. Maybe you can. That's one of the few Crash 2 mysteries I don't know. One thing I can say is the hippos are a lot more finicky in this version. In the original, they were just basically like perfectly round platforms. In this one, they have like 3D dimensions, so you can actually fall off of them very easily if your feet don't collide with them properly. But you're probably like, Seth, you're tearing ass through this game, man. Well, it's my favorite Crash game and one of my favorite games of all time. What can I say? I'm a pro! Don't you know? I'm better than the guy that went to AGDQ, totally. That I can totally do better than him. No, I learned a lot of my tricks from, I can't remember his name. He was a pretty young dude, and I want to say he was from the UK? He was playing the UK version of the game, which has some differences. I'm talking about original Crash 2, by the way. Also, this is our first of 2 boulder levels, and then there's the bears and bees. The lesser-known sex talk, you know? So, you've noticed how I've been doing these little, like, slides right here? Like this? If this was Crash 2 original, I would have already been, like, right where I'm at right now at the start of the level. Because that's how broken this mechanic was. You can see as well, though, it does give you a lot more distance than just sliding. So, you can actually outrun the boulder in some of these sections doing it. I'm a little rusty with my boulder section, so even though I did just play this game twice, I am a little rusty with my boulder sections. I have never liked these levels because they just feel... Yeah, I was gonna say that's a pretty gimp jump. I didn't mean to do it. If the boulder breaks a box, by the way, it does count towards your tally. That's probably not gonna be the only death I have. I will die a lot. There's some shit in this game that is just criminally insane. Let's not make any mistake about it. The fucking polar bear levels are very difficult. No matter how good you are, they are very iffy. They were iffy in the original, but they're even more iffy here. At least, that's just a me thing, I think. The bear's handling is very, very awkward. It's really tight, basically, and that is something that throws me off. It's just... It's that little bit of difference. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Heinz, Wein, die. I can't speak that much German. Anyways, you'll also notice that Crash 2's momentum is slightly different than Crash 1. It's not as Well, it's still tight, but it's like more refined, if that makes any sense. I can't really... Okay, this is the one that I don't like. So this is why I was saying in the original, if you did the crouch slide thing I'm doing, you would basically, the boulder... No! Oh my god, I'm not gonna make it. It's too tight. It's way, way too tight. If I make this, it's gonna be a fucking miracle. Okay. Also, they took out the animation of when Crash gets all the way, like, near the edge of the, like, whatever you want to call this room. He actually jumps into that in the original, and he's like, holy shit, like, after he's done with it. I've always loved that. I don't know why they took it out. Also, another difference in this version is... In the original, you actually took that little pad in the middle to go up to the boss fights. I kind of like that better. In this one, it actually locks. You can see these little, like, fogs. It actually locks these levels. You can't do them. That's why I did that level last, because I could get both gems at once. Or, sorry, jewelry pieces, I guess. I love Ripperoo. Ugh! Oh, yeah. So I don't like Ripperoo's voice as much in this one. And also, yeah, his death animation's different. I don't like it. But, yeah, so his laugh is also different. In the original, it was a sound effect from Lady and the Tramp of, like, the hyenas laughing, but they pitched it up higher and, like, 2 times as fast. Also, when you hit him in the original, he went, duh! It was really, really funny. I always laughed at it. Truth be told, he's a pretty easy boss. I've never really had any issue with Ripperoo. He follows the same pattern every single time you fight him. But... I don't mean to be that guy, but dude, that's just a fucking JPEG of the Nitro box. I'm sorry, that's not even like... The original looked like he was planting the crates into the ground. It was actually quite cool. But, yeah, you can only hit him when he's... Did I really just die on Ripperoo? That's fine, I'm not gonna complain. I could just say it's because I'm recovering from withdrawals of my medication and just make that an excuse. It's fine. I haven't died on him in forever, so I was gonna say I haven't died on him in ages, and then I die here. But it's okay, I'm not gonna cry about it. If you're gonna be like, oh, you fucking scrub, you died on Ripperoo. Yeah, man, it fucking shit happens. But, I'm not doing a fucking speed run of this game right now, obviously, so I don't have a... I'm not in the exact mind state to do that. Plus, this is a little bit tighter than the original on that section. But, I love how stressful this is the first time you play it. I think this is a better version of what his original boss fight was. Also, I'm gonna quote, Johnny from, you know, SGB and everything. I agree. I think that it was better in the original when he hit the nitros. He looked down and he had this realization of, oh fuck, when he did it. And it was really kind of cute. I always thought that was one of my favorite things about Ripperoo. Right here, he'd go, oh shit, and look down. Also, in the original, yeah, he didn't do that. He actually, like, whirled his head around, and then he fucking pancaked into the ground, and you could jump up in the air and fucking twice when he did that, too. I remember doing that all the fucking time. And Crash would do his little Crash dance. It was really cute. So, yay! We can go up here. In the original, you could hold triangle, and you'd actually redo the boss fights. But let's go ahead and, there we go, I was gonna say, activate that. Get out of here, Cortex. You put racial slurs on your forehead. We gotta do it. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There we go. Everyone knows about this, I'd hope. So, as I just put my fingers in your eyes, I'll leave you guys on this image, and I'll see you in the next one.
hopefully not dying. You shouldn't die. If you die on Ripperoo, well, you've got problems. Or you're a casual.